Yeah, hello, my name is Stephen Doody. I'm a visual artist from Dublin, Ireland. I'm here on the Erasmus Plus Mobility Programme in Łódź in Poland. Over the last week we have met with various NGOs around Łódź and been learning from these people. It has been a more holistic approach to learning in that it's not classroom based. We have been touring the city, visiting different NGOs and learning from these people.
So the project we are implementing now is entitled Soil Soul Society, Holistic Approaches for Youth Development. It's a long-term partnership project between three partner organizations. Dreams for Life, which is an association from Romania and leader of the project, KobieTY, Polish partner, and Síolta Chroí, an organization from Ireland. And in this cooperation, we are implementing this long-term project, Soil Soul Society. Each of the partners is taking care of one topic. So soil is assigned to Ireland, soul was assigned to Romania, and society is our part, KobieTY's part, since we have most experience in boosting positive social changes in local communities. And this knowledge, inspirations we want to transmit to our participants of our international mobilities, as well as this is the contribution, our contribution to the whole project. Within the project, we were implementing last year international training courses. Each partner was implementing a training course on their topic. So we had a training course in Ireland on soil, we had a training course on soul in Romania, and we had a training course on society in the form of a changemaker course in Poland. This year, however, we are focusing on study visits and exchanges of good practices, so bringing more inspirations to our participants, showing them different types of organizations, initiatives, which are good practices we want to share with others, and we want to inspire others with promoting these organizations, individuals, networks, etc.
So this particular project was an exchange of good practices, and we met in Łódź to visit the local change makers. We had 15 people altogether from Poland, Ireland and Romania who met in 24th of June for a welcome dinner, firstly in of Piotrkowska, getting to know a little bit of local climate. And then since next morning we had a chance to get to know each other a little bit better, see who is in the group, build the atmosphere, discuss our needs, expectations. And if in the afternoon, together with Justyna from Just Łódź, we had a chance to see Łódź, understand the context we are operating in, because our goal is to get to know changemakers, but also understand a little bit in what environment they work. So we had a beautiful 3 hours walk through the city center, Piotrkowska, Liberty Square, to see a little bit how is Łódź today, but also how it was in this and last century.
We were walking down Piotrkowska Street, entering different gates to discover how different, how diverse, but also how beautiful yards in Łódź are. Justyna was showing us many of her favorite yards. Apparently all yards are her favorite, but she was sharing this energy, and participants were really excited to discover new parts of the city. We were also in Passage Róży. We explored newly renovated Freedom Square, Plac Wolności. We were seeing the renovation of the city, and our participants were really amazed how the revitalization, both in terms of building, architecture, but also society, how much the revitalization influences people. Our participants from Romania and Ireland were super amazed to see the beauty of the city, but I also have to admit that I was surprised by it too. I'm a local patriot and I live here my whole life. I really love Łódź city, but I was surprised even when we were discovering some of the places which has been just renovated or rebuilt, how beautiful and more inclusive the city is starting to be. But at the same time, how much diversity it brings and it also boosts. and how many new places where people can meet, can talk, can sit for coffee or just enjoy city spaces, how Łódź is going into this direction. So as a host of this meeting, as a person who is living here my whole life, I was also proud and very happy to show to our foreign guests Łódź that I know and I love. And it was also beautiful to get the comments how they also appreciate the city, and they also some of them also fell in love in it.
Woods has been an inspiration to me with regard to the urban forest. Standing behind me, their use of trees in the cityscape for cooling, for habitat, biodiversity is absolutely amazing. The local city seems to have no problem with large trees in the cityscape, which improves air quality, water quality, mental health, and all the positives that goes with this.
I think it's a very lively city. It's very similar to my hometown, which is Cluj, Cluj-Napoca in Romania. It has that vibe where you have sort of the main streets where people are always engaged and there's so many terraces. But what I really loved and it really stuck to me is this common understanding that if we develop the areas and give it back to the people, that would bring advantages to everyone, all the players. So even the private ones, the administration, it just opens up so much more as long as we're all investing in the same thing.
As an artist, I have seen a lot more ideas how local government and city government supports artists. Everything from living studios to facilitation to paint murals and things like this around the city, sculpture, art, yards and buildings.
From the second full day, we started to discover local organizations. Firstly, we got to know KobieTY Association in their office. And then we had a very inspiring experience in Black World, which is a museum created by blind people, people who cannot see, who took us for 1 hour to the total darkness, and they were guides into their world. So we could, with our other senses, we could really see how it is to operate in the house, on the street, in other spaces without seeing anything, even the lights through your closed eyes, because all the environment was the total darkness, and it was a very strong experience for all of us.
The association, the full name of the association is kobiety.loc.pl, and the name comes from a portal which has been established back in 2000s when social media were not so much developed, and the idea behind the portal was to empower women by writing stories, organizing workshops for themselves, and being empowered through common actions and activities. The name of, now we are using mostly the abbreviation KobieTY, and the name in Polish means women, but the part Ty, which means you, are written in our logo with capital letters, because we want to underline that you can be anyone, regardless of gender or identity. We still work mainly with women, however we are open for diversity, and this we also wanted to underline through our logo, which is very international. Our logo and the 3 words which somehow are defining our association is KobieTY, International, Intercultural, Intergenerational Association from Łódź, Poland. Our mission is to bring positive changes into the local community, and we do it through various projects, events, actions, workshops of many different types and on many different topics. Also campaigns, social campaigns, actions in the city, events. We also used to implement international festival. So there is plenty of projects, initiatives, events which we have developed, implemented throughout the years of our activity.
And we as well are the member of others activities, for example, Dialog Różnorodności.
Yes, so we are a member of local and international consortiums, cooperations, cooperatives, so we are also active on local and international level by networking with other organizations, because we believe that alone we can go far, but together we are stronger, more efficient and more diverse, and we can work even wider, get wider access to bigger community.
Black World is one of the most thrilling and perception-changing attractions globally. In complete darkness, within specially designed 100-square-meter rooms, our participants were guided by Black World's blind guides, getting a chance to experience something truly extraordinary. Everyday activities and objects take on new meanings when the visible becomes invisible. Every visitor gets a chance to step out of their comfort zone and awaken their senses.
Pracują tutaj osoby niewidome. Oczywiście poza szefową, która widzi, bo to jest jakby osoba, która stworzyła to miejsce. Pracuje też z dziećmi niepełnosprawnymi, więc było to takie jej marzenie, żeby otworzyć Black World. Bardzo ważny jest dla mnie kontakt z ludźmi, czyli lubię pracować tu, ponieważ mam ten kontakt z ludźmi po prostu. I to mnie gdzieś tutaj trzyma. Ja nie widzę od 5 lat, a od 23 lat jestem chora na zapalenie błony naczyniowej. I to spowodowało, że na ten moment obydwie siatkówki są zniszczone.
After the Black World experience, it sort of stayed with me the fact that the freedom, just the freedom, comes more from how we choose to see the things that we have or the life that we have, or more than making a certain choice or having certain things that can make us seem free. I don't know if that makes any sense actually. Let me maybe say it in different words. It's more about doing the best with what you have, I think is what I'm trying to say. Because a lot of times we find all these excuses for not doing so many things because we're not dealt the best cards, right? But I think in the end is really the freedom of choice lays in how I can make the best of it, not in the choice itself.
Osoba, która jest tak na co dzień, to dopiero jak tu przyjdzie, to zrozumie, jak to jest. I słuchajcie, no jesteśmy wszędzie, na mediach społecznościowych, nagrywamy rolki, więc mamy takie wydarzenia w poniedziałki, w środy posty, a w piątki Black World czyta dzieciom. Nasza Wiesia, która jest mistrzem czytania w Braille'u, czyta literaturę dla dzieci w Braille'u. Wierszyki różne, więc można nas posłuchać.
We went to the Black World experience. Was really one of the most powerful moments during this course. It was really shocking to be suddenly unable to use my sight, which is like the sense I use the most to discover and interact with the world around myself. And somehow I discover how much vulnerable I get, how much I cannot really move around and do things, and how much dependable I get on other people that then can support me, how much the sounds around me influence what I can perceive and what I cannot perceive. So like when there is so much chaos was like, or too much sound was like really disturbing, I had to stop. And that was really like, whoa, and now what? The only thing I can do is nothing, is waiting. Maybe somebody can support me, maybe I get some clue. That was really, challenging. And it was really important for me to understand how difficult it is to understand other people without really stepping on their shoes, without being in their situation. This is like, of course, true and very impactful in a situation like the one that Black World provide. But it is true also for many other situations with disabilities, with challenges, with was really something.
the compassion, but also you feel very vulnerable. You're putting yourself into someone else's places. So I think that was quite a valuable learning for myself.
We had also a short workshop with one of the guides who gave us different things to taste, to smell, to recognize per touch. We were even drawing in the darkness, trying to guess what is the color of our crayon, and some of us actually guessed. After that, we reflect on this experience as it really brought a lot of emotions and thoughts. And the same very day, we visited also Galeria Odlot, which is the gallery created with people with mental disabilities who are creating and selling their art. And through that, they sustain themselves.
Nazywam się Urszula Kędzierska. To jest Galeria Odlot. Co to Galeria Odlot? Galeria Odlot to jest takie miejsce, gdzie my pracujemy. Mamy różne tkaniny i nie tylko tkaniny, ale mamy też obrazy. W pracowni mamy instruktorów. W domu mamy też asystentów, którzy nam pomagają. W gotowaniu mamy ogólnie dyżury w domach, więc tak. Sami gotujemy, sprzątamy po śniadaniu, po posiłkach sprzątamy i myjemy podłogi. Dla mnie najważniejsze uśmiech, żeby tu wszyscy nasi byli, moi koledzy, koleżanki byli uśmiechnięci. Ja lubię być tutaj przede wszystkim, bo gdzie indziej nie mogę pracować, bo mam znaczny stopień niepełnosprawności i nie dałabym rady gdzie indziej pracować, tylko mogę tu pracować. Mój blog to się nazywa Świat Urszuli. Można wejść na Google i tam wygooglać sobie Świat Urszuli. O wszystkim, o galerii, o moim, co tutaj robię, o mojej rodzinie, o moim, ogólnie o wszystkim, tak? Bo tu musiałabym dużo opowiadać, co się na tym blogu dzieje. Nie chciałabym ujawniać, co na nim jest, po prostu można wejść i sobie zobaczyć, co tam jest. Mogę tylko powiedzieć tyle, że na blogu są mnóstwo zdjęć.
On Thursday, we had a lovely whole day excursion from Łódź to Koluszki. It was an interesting experience for our participants to go there by train. And in Koluszki, we were meeting local active organizations. We have this connection through Bogna Stawicka, the president of KobieTY Association, who is now a local networker of the branch of KobieTY in Koluszki and the region. So we met 4 active organizations. We met the seniors in a senior club. We met the circles of village women from Stary Redzeń, Nowy Redzeń and villages around Koluszki city. We met the group of local activists, environmental activists and passionates, and we also met Association Okiem Kobiety. This was an opportunity for us to get to know these very active initiatives and organizations. We had a chance to ask them questions. Our international group was asking questions to our hosts to get to know them a little bit better, but also to give feedback to their work. It was a super nice cooperation and a very good energy. We had lovely vibes. We were also visited by the mayor of Koluszki, who met us and said really nice words about the active organizations in the city and in the region.
So we are here because of the study visit in international project. So we have a chance to visit people in Koluszki. And this project is done by KobieTY Łódź.pl, so the organization from Łódź, which Bogna is actually the president. But she said that most important part of those who organize the activity, so me,
Katarzyna and Ania. Lovely.
Dzisiaj, 27 czerwca, gościliśmy w Koluszkach, w małym miasteczku nieopodal Łodzi. Gościliśmy grupę z projektu międzynarodowego Soil Soul Society. I akurat nam, Koluszkom, przypadła wersja Society, czyli chcieliśmy pokazać, jak ta społeczność koluszkowska tutaj się ma, czy coś fajnego robi, czy się rozwija, czy ma coś do pokazania jako fajna aktywność. I tak, i rzeczywiście zaprosiliśmy na to spotkanie przedstawicieli takich 4 grup społecznych, nie wszystkich oczywiście w Koluszkach, które są, ale 4, z którymi współpracujemy, mianowicie Okiem Kobiety, organizacja, z którą współpracujemy od dawna i robimy różne projekty, koła gospodyń wiejskich z okolicznych wsi, które też aktywnie tutaj włączają się w życie społeczne i oczywiście masę rzeczy robią fajnych, rozwojowych. Byli przedstawiciele, bo też pan przedstawiciele klubu seniora w Koluszkach i byli też początkujący leśni ludkowie, ale właściwie to jest klub miłośników lisowickiej przyrody, którzy też wprowadzili nas w takie przepiękne tutaj tajniki przyrody Lisowic, które są koło Koluszek atrakcją. Spotkanie miało na celu zarówno pokazanie tej aktywności, jak i też poznanie się wzajemne z przedstawicielami Rumunii, Irlandii i oczywiście tych ludzi z Polski, którzy uczestniczą w tym projekcie. Myślę, że bardzo ciekawe wypowiedzi się pojawiły i grupy się przedstawiły na tyle atrakcyjnie, że można było się zorientować, co tu jest ważnego w Koluszkach. W czasie tej wizyty, w czasie tych rozmów intensywnych odwiedził nas burmistrz Koluszek, który chciał zaznaczyć, że oczywiście docenia taką aktywność społeczną. Może tylko dodam, że ta aktywność społeczna w Koluszkach jest raczej początkująca, to znaczy od 4 lat właściwie się coś dzieje. Wcześniej nie było takiego zwyczaju organizacji pozarządowych, natomiast w momencie, kiedy zaczęły powstawać, zaczęło się ożywiać życie społeczne, bo prawdą jest, że jeżeli są struktury, jeżeli jest jakaś forma prawna, to jest z kim się spotkać, jest możliwość spotkania się z konkretną jakąś formą, bo spotykanie ludzi jest zupełnie czym innym, a spotykanie się w ramach działań organizacji jest zupełnie czym innym. Jest bardziej rozwojowe, jest bardziej nastawione na jakiś cel i znaczy jest po prostu bardziej konkretne.
Afterwards, we went to Lisowice, which is a natural place close by, and we could see how society is using this space for their leisure time, but also how nature is being preserved in Lisowice.
There was local initiative to create a recreation area for Koluszki, and the field was chosen in Lisowice, 6 kilometers away from the town, and they supposed to rebuild existing fish ponds on Mroga River and some nice leisure areas around, and create a beach, build some restaurants there, and make this ground attractive for people. Now is a kind of consensus between existing nature and protection of protected species and recreation needs of inhabitants of Koluszki town. So there is also a nice place to watch nature, watch birds, bats at night. So it will be used during educational projects in now and in the future. It's very difficult to reach equilibrium between nature and recreation, and the riddle is how to create this, not destructing the whole area and not changing too much. So it's just positive example of consensus for me.
On Friday, we organized an international brunch for local NGOs. We were joined by representatives of Coalition Łódź of Diversity, namely Eliza Gaust, representing the Coalition Łódź of Diversity, but also Municipality of Łódź and Association Hakoach. Jola Lechowska-Białecka, representing Centrum Dialogu imienia Marka Edelmana. Mateusz Piasecki from the Municipality of Łódź, who told us more about the participatory budget. We were also joined by Basia Michalska from EduKB, Fundacja Kreatywnych Rozwiązań, and Anna Raczkowska from Vici Association.
As facilitators, we also took care of the process of the group. So it was very important for us from the very first day to build a safe, secure space where people actually can share and can learn. And also throughout all the process, we were taking care to have moment of reflection, of digestion, of evaluation, and really trying to understand what has just happened and how can I use it in my own community, in my own society. So sometimes we would have time to speak in smaller groups or couples. Sometimes we would have a round of sharing in all the group. Another time we proposed journaling, so more time, individual time to reflect on what happened. And during our brunch, in the middle of the project in particular, which was exactly in the middle, so somehow this time of evaluation was even more important, we proposed also a method which is called open space. It's kind of unstructured conversation method which allow people to have conversation they want to have for their learning. So we were doing 5 parallel conversations on topics connected to society, to financing social projects, to human or living library, to diversity, participatory projects. But participants could choose to which conversation they want to join and for how long. So the only rule we had there is that if you don't learn and you don't participate, you just change conversation. So for around an hour, we have also this more informal time of learning. And even the brunch itself was this idea that then we would share the food together and people could still approach individuals if they have more questions, they want to discover more of those initiatives we were visiting these days.
We went outside the city to Podemica to see how the food can be created, can be produced and then brought directly to the table. So from the field to the fork. We visited Złoty Jabłko, which is a restaurant and makes pierogi, so the traditional Polish dumpling. But we also visit their farms where they produce the vegetables and the other products that then they use in the restaurant.
Dzień dobry, nazywam się Marcin Chrakowski. Jesteśmy na ekologicznej farmie pierogarni Złote Jabłko w Porębicach. Mamy tutaj 2 hektary uprawy ekologicznych warzyw, owoców, ale też i staw z rybami, który jest za mną. To pole pierogarni powstało 4 lata temu, jakby z myślą coraz wdrażania w restauracji coraz lepszych produktów opartych na jakby coraz zdrowszym pozyskaniu tych produktów, ale też chodzi tutaj o pozyskanie dobrego smaku, ale też jakby o przekazanie zdrowego jedzenia ludziom po prostu. Tutaj też jakby w produkcji tych warzyw i na całej farmie staraliśmy się skupić na tym, aby być samowystarczalnym. Dlatego mamy instalację fotowoltaiczną off-gridową, która służy do nawadniania pola, ale też jakby do pozyskiwania wody do stawu i natleniania tej wody w stawie. Staramy się tak to wszystko dobierać gatunkowo, jeśli chodzi na przykład o rośliny, aby jedne rośliny uzupełniały drugie i dobrze oddziaływały na inne. Także staramy się robić taki jakby obieg zamknięty poprzez jakby wspieranie jednych organizmów i wpływ pozytywny tych organizmów na drugie organizmy. Wiadomo, że na początku nie mieliśmy aż takiej dużej grupy klientów, ale i gości w restauracji. Natomiast teraz nieraz do nas specjalnie przyjeżdżają ludzie i po 50 i po 100 km po to, żeby zjeść produkt oparty na organicznych, znaczy zjeść posiłek oparty na organicznych produktach i faktycznie ta cena tych produktów jest większa i tego jedzenia, natomiast część ludzi jakby to docenia i wiedząc co je, jest w stanie zapłacić więcej za ten produkt, ponieważ on jest zdrowy i dobrze wpływa na ich organizm.
So after we went on the farm, we went to the restaurant of his that he puts the vegetables that he grows in this restaurant and makes pierogi with them. And you could feel in every pierog the whole soil, like in a good way. So you could actually feel the whole taste of it.
The farm we went to visit a couple of days ago in the country, I thought was quite amazing. That idea of food from farm to plate over a couple of kilometres, that idea of keeping food local rather than importing.
The day after we came back to Łódź, and we again met Anna Raczkowska and went in her workshop at EACEA Association, and there we had like some fun making art together. EACEA is very involved in bringing art and using art for educational reasons, but also to bring back the culture and bring people closer to tradition and culture. And we did our stamps and played a little bit with the linoleum and learned a little bit how traditionally these things were done.
Hello, my name is Anne and I'm from EACEA Association. Now we are in Łódź. We are in the place where I have my workshop. It's on the St. George Street. We have many places here in this building. There was the project for the artists, which you can have that kind of place. And in here I'm sharing the old techniques which we interpret in the modern way. For example, today we make workshops about the woodcut, but in the modern style, in the linocut style. We try to recreate the process of printing like in the medieval times. This is one of the crafts which we use in EACEA Association, but also we work a lot with the textile. Textile is a nice inspiration also because we have a full of colors. In here you have an example of embroidery. We also make the workshops as a tool of integration. For example, we have a topic, and in here it was the plants, and we make the really small dots from the structure of the wool. It was really fun, and it was also with the group, which is the many generations, not only one generation. We try to involve people from a different ages. Another craft which we really love, it's making a belt in the medieval style. In here you see the woolen belt, which we make on that kind of equipment. In Polish language we say bartko. So many children love it, that kind of waving technique. So we try to make it on the historic events, but also for the museums, for the cultural institutions. It depends. Our mission is to, how to say, take the heritage of our land, our culture, and make it in the modern way, and be an inspiration for the one is the integration, another part is the nature. So how to combine these things together and send the message, because the name of the association is KobieTY Association, and in our Polish language is bring you Wici, so I bring you the really important information. In medieval times we believe that this word was about the fighting and about the war, but now we are spreading the information about old crafts. So this is like that for us. We also love to use natural materials. We also love to spend time with the people and with the crafts, and we see that this is changing the hearts and the minds. Welcome in the KobieTY Association. And
we met with Julian Turco from Ovo Spotkanie, which is an organization that work on youth empowerment and bringing education on from different subjects like sexual education, but also psychological support for youth and children. And we had the chance to play one of their games that they developed from their organization, which was very interesting and very funny.
My name is Julian Turco and I'm president of the Ovo Spotkanie Foundation. In English it's the fruit of the meeting. Our organization's mission is to create educational spaces, to work on the topics of health and well-being, health on the social, physical and mental level. Our goal is to work with kids and young people, and also with experts, adults that work with kids and young people. So we provide non-violent education, workshops, also workshops about communication, addressing violence, sexual healthcare education, and so on. So we also have this innovative approach towards education. We create tools and methods. For example, our team developed Sztama. It's a method of working with boys against the gender-based violence. The game we recently developed is called Fourth Mind, and this is a game about solutions. So kids and young adults get a deck of cards with the problems. So the problems of contemporary young people, and then they work in two phases. First is defining the problem, so what's like the core or the source of the situation, and the second phase is about finding solutions. So during the feedback sessions, young people say that it's quite surprising for them that problems can be seen from so many perspectives, and also that there are so many possibilities to solve those problems. The most important part of the game is that we work together in a collaborative situation. So it also teaches young people that problem solving is not just a personal situation, but they can use their collective intelligence and different skills and resources to find help in the real situations in the daily life.
Well, back home I do quite a bit of work with a women's group, and I'm looking forward to telling them about the women's group here and how much work they do with so many different diverse groups. But I think for me the outstanding project was definitely the youth one with the cards, and I just thought, because there's a big problem with the youth in rural Ireland with suicide, with them not feeling like they have a future. There's so many problems, and I think that for me was just absolutely amazing to be able to help them to communicate their feelings and their worries and their problems with each other, and to share that. I thought the cards and the way it goes into the schools, just amazing to see.
So recently we encountered this change of mindset in schools. So since several months, teachers and headmasters of the schools are more open to talk about sexual health care at schools. But I think that schools that are very close to students were always open to this kind of topics. I'm very happy that there are more and more sex educators in Poland, so kids all around the country have bigger support. Still, which is the only city that officially supports sex education in schools and have it as a fund from the municipality.
Finally, on the last day, we had a moment for ourselves, for digesting a little bit what happened during this week, and also for evaluating the whole process. And finally, for a warm last meal and some hug.
So I thought it was a very interesting process of learning, a very good balance of city and town and countryside and farm, and time to see projects and time to reflect and think. I thought it was a very, very good balance and very well designed process. And it was quite a lot to take in. I was really tired every day by the end of the day, because there was so much to take in, but hugely inspiring, and so many different levels, so many different age groups, so much inspiration. And I think also it impressed me with the funding and that it was right down to grassroots level, and the community was so involved in choosing the projects and and building up those projects. Just amazing, and also just amazed by the culture and the city. I love Łódź, definitely want to come back again. Just so much art everywhere, and the murals and the little details everywhere. Beautiful, beautiful art just as part of life. And I also love the outdoor, the cafe, the streets, because in Ireland it's raining so much. You can't sit outside like that, and it was just so beautiful. People just walking down the street, finding somewhere to meet friends and eat, and lovely atmosphere. And the beautiful old buildings and how they've been renovated so sensitively and so well. Everything just looked so magnificent. Amazing amount of work has gone into that. So altogether amazing experience, and very different to what I thought it would be, but totally amazing, and beautiful group of people to meet. So many different people involved in so many different projects. So thank you so much.
For me, it's such a beautiful and amazing honor to have been part of this for 2 years now. And I'm really thankful, because every stage of the Soil Soul Society had brought gifts with it. And the experience in Łódź was both challenging, but at the same time full of rewards. It was amazing to be able to sort of live my day by day in a context where I feel I belong, and I really appreciate being engaged into the community, and sharing that with my family was also such a wonderful experience. It also brought challenges, but I think that's where the gifts come from. So I'm very thankful.
What I think it stuck with me, and I found it valuable, was the fact that we were actually discussing what is change making, who can be a change maker, what are the characteristics of one, or what does it mean to be, like what are some actions you do. And I was actually thinking that maybe it's not really about, you know, very big things or creating projects or doing world changing or, you know, whatever, which it can also happen, obviously. But it's not just about that. I feel like it's so important that we realize that actually the most important change comes from within, obviously. But in a way that we're all change makers in somebody's life at some point in our lives, and maybe we don't know that, or maybe we don't believe that. But yeah, I feel like inviting whoever is watching this to just imagine their lives without themselves in it, to see yeah, they have a lot of, we have a lot of impact.
Well, for me, it was actually impressive to see many different organizations collaborated together. Somehow it was like in different moments I could see how the civil society is actually linked, connected, networked, and is actually working. I wouldn't say as one, but for sure they're going in the same direction. They're pushing a change together. So it's like much more impactful and much more funny.
Now that you said about it, it brought me back to my conclusion from before, that the topic of our study visit is society, and this is our field of expertise in the project Soil Society. But there is also another word which is community. And I feel that within the week that we had here, we created our mini community of very diverse group, which is supporting each other, which is answering each other's needs, which is very careful towards each other, very empathic, supportive. But I also feel that here in Łódź we have this community of people who care, of people who want to support each other, of activists and social workers, networkers, that there is this community of people who care and who want to bring positive changes into local communities and society in general, and who want to, yes, see the future, hope in the future, and bring this change. So this was a really nice realization for me. There were so many organizations which were presented to us as potential places to visit within this study visit, so an exchange of best practices, and we had to make selection to meet the people. And as soon as we were contacting the representatives, they were so enthusiastic and they were so willing to share and to show what they do, how they work. So that was also a super inspiring realization for me.
What I found really inspiring is that, although I am from Łódź and I really like the city, it's unbelievable how it changed during the last years, both in terms of, you know, buildings. We visited many places which I never seen, even though I live in the city. You know, I was just surprised in every single yard. It's like, really? I've never been here before. But the same goes with people, that I can really see that there is more initiatives, more collaboration, and more proudness, you know. I just remember a few years ago when I would say to people I'm from Łódź, you know, their reaction wouldn't be necessarily very positive, but now I can see in people who are presenting us their initiatives or the city how proud they are from being from Łódź. And I think a big part of it is that it became a place where people are more active and more welcomed, also in their diversity, as you said. No, we have so many people from different cultures and with different disabilities, and also being able to visit them and see their perspective was something very important for me. I'm also very happy that actually we speak a lot about Łódź, but we also had the chance to visit Dębice or Koluszki, so also show that it's not only in big cities that things happen, and somehow seeing how alive Koluszki and other villages are was very inspiring for me, and I could also see in people, because not all our participants come from the city, and it's true that sometimes we have this feeling only in the city things can happen, but we could also see in this mobility that it's not true. There's a lot which can happen in much smaller areas as well.
Now that you say that, it also came to my mind the reflection that I had few days ago, that yes, there were those active people, for example, in Koluszki region, and things were happening, but sometimes it's this one spark or one person in this case, and people, local people were really underlining it, that it was Bogna, who is the president of KobieTY, but decided to live now in close to Koluszki and is still active in the area. Sometimes it's enough that one person uses their talents, their strong points, something that is their gift, to give this gift to the local community and to start a completely different energy, completely different chapter of the life. So there was this activity, and seniors were there being active, and women were there being active. Okiem Kobiety was there being active, but then sometimes it's only this one person who will bring the idea, oh, maybe this is a lovely idea, maybe let's make an international project out of it, or oh, you are here so active, maybe let's create a circle of village women to support each other and to maybe get some financial support to do our actions and to contribute with our talents to the local community. So also, and I feel that this is also a strong point of KobieTY, to really see talents in people, what are their strong points, also improving competences, giving knowledge, spreading knowledge, teaching skills, changing attitudes, or as Erasmus says, opening minds, changing lives. Yeah, that there is also this aspect of things.